Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Kia, and I'm back for another video. I'm getting so annoyed with the racial identity issues that we are having in the Black community. It's almost like we are back in like some weird times of slavery where people are separated by house slaves and field slaves and everything, and you're not Black enough, and oh, you can pass for white and this and that. And it's really, really ridiculous. And I hate the fact now that Janet Jackson has been thrown into this, most likely by mistake. And what I'm saying is Janet Jackson has never been political. She's never been on any side of anything. No matter what has happened, she's always just kind of just done music and kept it moving. Supported her family and stood by them no matter what, her brothers included. She just doesn't do politics, social issues, none of that. She does not get involved. She's probably one of the most private celebrities I think we've ever seen when you think about it. I mean, she got married to a whole Persian, I think he's Saudi, we'll just say Persian billionaire, and no one really knew about it. There was no pictures of a wedding, there's no nothing. She had a whole baby at 50 still. There's been little to no pictures of a baby. So she's just been very quiet and she didn't speak out. Well, in a recent interview she did, and I think it was with Rolling Stones, I'm sorry if I'm not getting the publication correctly, she stated, when asked about Kamala Harris, she stated that, oh, she's Indian. You know, I heard she was Indian. And then the reporter says, well, she's both. She's Indian and Black. Janet replies, well, I heard it just came out that her father is Irish, that her father is white. I just heard that, recently, but I haven't watched the news in a while. And social media has, definitely erupted, definitely grabbed onto it, because it's a very interesting for someone like Janet to make, given her family makeup, given the fact that her nephew is also, and this may not be huge news or anything, or people may not know this, but Janet's nephew, I forgot what the little boy's name is, but her nephew Jermaine Jr., I hope I'm getting these names right. Jermaine Jr. has a child with Asa Sultan. Asa Sultan was one of the cast members of Shahs of Sunset on Bravo. So that child is half Black, half Persian. Janet's child is half Black, half Persian. So she understands that you can be two things. So that's already interesting. But I got way off on that. I was just trying to... Driving and talking is very hard. But anyway, so it's very interesting for her to make these comments about race, like I said, given her family makeup and getting everybody into it. It's also interesting the fact that Janet said that she gets her information from the news, I guess is what she was trying to say. Like, if I don't see it on the news, then it must not be true. But I don't remember there ever being a news story that said that Kamala wasn't half Black, half Indian. It's always been that she's half Black, half Indian. And it later came out that someone claiming to be her manager or part of her management team issued an apology. That person was fired by Randy Jackson because no apology was ever issued about what Janet said. Janet the only apology I've ever seen Janet do was about the Super Bowl. But Janet after that just became, very private, very recluse about her life. She would come out and perform, and that would be the end of it. So already that apology seemed to me like it wasn't real, or it wasn't her idea. So that person was fired, and that person is now upset about being fired by Randy Jackson, who is Janet's manager. So the Black community and Black blogs and social media have all jumped on this. Everybody saying, well, Kamala is Indian, she's not Black. Well, Kamala's both. Why do we care? And the thing is, why do we as Black people care so much? Why does it matter so much? This woman literally has to pull out a DNA ancestry account to prove that she's half Black, half Indian. Why are we harping on this as the Black community so much? Why does it matter that she has to prove it? We have seen pictures of this woman in college. We have seen pictures of this woman with her fro. We have seen pictures with the woman with her grandmother in Jamaica, who's a Black woman. We've seen pictures of her father. We have seen pictures of her mother, who is Indian. We've seen pictures, and a lot of people are misconstruing this because where Kamala's mother was born, the town in India has put up posters supporting Kamala because that's where her mother is from, and they want to show support of Kamala. If I pronounce Kamala's name wrong, it's not I'm doing it out of spite or anything. It's just a weird thing that I do because of names and my husband's family. Because my husband is also Indian. But again, it's just because that community in India supports her does not make her not black. It means that she has two cultures. My children, and I've said this multiple times, my children are Kamalas. They are half black, half Indian, West Indian, but Indian. That's what they are. And there will be times, let's say my son becomes a famous football player. They might end up saying that my son is the first Indian American NFL football player or the first Indian American NBA player. Because I don't know if there's a lot of NBA players who are Indian or NFL players who are Indian. They could say that. It doesn't erase an entire side of him. It just means he's the first person of that culture to do something like that. The same when they said that Kamala was the first Indian senator, because technically she is, even though it's only a part of her. The same thing when Barack Obama became president. He became the first black president. That doesn't mean it erases an entire side of him. It just means he's the first black. That part is the first to do something like that. And that's all it means. You know, everybody is and again, in the black community, you know, we've got people, the Foundational Black Association or Organization, FOB, whatever that means, making it a point to say Kamala is white and her history is a lie and she's mostly Indian. I don't know how people say she's mostly Indian. That's not how sperm and eggs work. You know, that's not how those two body parts work. You're half of something and half of something based on the genes of your parents. If your mother is 100% Indian, then you're half Indian. If your dad is 100% black, you become half black. That's math. I don't know. It just frustrates me because I do worry about my own children. They're half of these two things, and there will be times where they won't fit in either side, and other times where they'll fit in more with one place. If my daughter decides to go to an HBCU, my daughter might not have to have this issue that much because my daughter actually looks more Indian than she does black. My son, on the other hand, looks more black because of his hair than he does Indian. So he might go to the HBCU and he might end up being able to say, I'm black, and no one might not question to be like, oh, this is a light-skinned black boy or whatever. You know, my daughter might end up going to study abroad and she might tell people, you know, I'm Indian instead of saying she's half black, half Indian. She might, I don't know. But that's just how mixed race people have to live. And let me circle back to the whole Janet has children, a child who is half black, half Persian, who will be a Kamala, who will have to say if they're one thing or another. Or might not say that they're one thing or another. Might just say that I'm mixed race. It could be a myriad of things, but it shouldn't denigrate the black side. If someone says, oh, you're not black, you're Persian, it shouldn't, you would hope that Janet, as the mom, would say, well, no, my child is half black. Not, I heard that maybe, you know, it's just very odd to me that Janet took this stance. And it's even odder to me that she made a comment at all. She's been so out of politics her entire career. I'm surprised she just didn't say, oh, that's really great that a woman is running for president, you know, yay, and leave it at that. That would have been the only safe answer. Another thing, and lastly, as I wrap this up, is that people are like, oh, they're only saying this because she supports Trump. She supports Trump, blah, blah, blah. I don't have an issue with anybody, person of color, supporting Trump. I think it's weird, but I don't care that much. What I have a problem with is when celebrities spread disinformation. Saying that Kamala has a white father is spreading disinformation. When her own, Kamala's father has come out, that's his daughter. Her sister, who looks black, is out there. Like, it's not like, it's not like a Talcum X situation. And I'm so used to calling this man Talcum X, I can't even think of his real name. But you guys know who I'm talking about. The one black, the black activist, well, I don't think he's black, I think he's white, who's always getting in like Black Lives Matter issues. He was speaking to the leaders of Hamas to try to get hostages released. He has had his blackness questioned for years because there's no pictures of his childhood. I need to think of this man's name, but there's no pictures of his childhood. There's no history of him doing anything. His father has come out and said that he actually is a 100% white person and that he's just cosplaying as a black man. So that's a different situation. We don't have that with Kamala. Kamala is out here. It is a truth that she is half black, half Indian. So I need celebrities. If you're going to support whoever you support, and the same thing on the Donald Trump side. If if you support Kamala, there's no reason for you to be putting out disinformation about Donald Trump. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. There's plenty of ammo over there on the Donald Trump side, and there's plenty of ammo on the Kamala side without you just having an outright lie. And celebrities have a very strong platform and a voice, especially someone like Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson's an icon. No matter what when she does stuff, people listen because she doesn't do stuff that often. She doesn't say stuff that often. So when she does, it really sticks in people's brains about, well, you know, Janet Jackson's a celebrity. She wouldn't just say something like that if it wasn't true, right? She wouldn't just come out and say that Kamala was white if she wasn't right. I mean, it's Janet. Janet's also famous. Maybe they know it. Maybe she knows something we don't. That's what it always ends up being, and it's dangerous, and it's not helpful to the situation. So I'm not looking for Janet to come out and apologize. I think it's just going to make Janet go into a deeper hole and stop doing interviews and stop just kind of being active. You know, and maybe that's the best thing to do right now. She doesn't seem like she's that informed about politics, and I don't think Janet wants to or needs to be that informed about politics because she just doesn't participate in that type of stuff. So those are my thoughts. I don't think Janet should be canceled either. I don't think it's that big of a deal to be canceling Janet over her kind of just being uninformed and goofy. I think it's not helpful. I do think it's a little dangerous, but I don't think it's. There's worse things to cancel people over, and this is not it. So drop in my comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about the Janet Jackson comments, and let me know how you feel about celebrities just coming out and saying stuff that they probably shouldn't. If we should, I don't know. It's weird for me. I know I keep trying to wrap the video up, but I keep thinking about stuff because at the end of the day, celebrities, and people keep saying why are we listening to celebrities? Celebrities don't matter. Well, celebrities are still Americans too. They vote. They're allowed to be here. And it would be irresponsible of them to not use their platforms to speak out about things that they support or things that matter or things that are important. I mean, we have celebrities who are speaking about all kinds of issues all over the world. You know, whether it's the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, whether it's the what was it? I think it was the the Social Security and Medicaid scams that Brett Favre was involved in, and celebrities were speaking out about that. Whether it's dumb stuff, it's sex trafficking, not a dumb thing, but sex trafficking. All these celebrities use their platform to speak out about these things, and you want them to. So that shouldn't stop at politics. I don't know. All right, I'm done. I'm done ranting and raving. I'm going to start my work for the day. I hope you guys have a great day. Please drop down in my comments and let me know your thoughts. See you next time.